Wednesday. Yes. Going well. I'm excited to talk about Khorne. Khorne's not my, as a Chaos player, Khorne is not my chosen god, but I feel kindred spirits with my Khorne players.
Yeah. Um, I understand. Yeah, I feel like I could see it being a playstyle for you, but Brad is really our Khorne guy on the channel. And Brad does a nice job. I actually think I can say this now. We have a game tomorrow. Brad, I believe, is playing Blades of Khorne tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think we're actually going to have a Night Haunt revisiting as well. I'll take
really? Okay.
I'll take a slightly different list than the one I took against John.
Double Black Coach?
I think I'm going to take single
Rude.
Black Coach,
Okay.
Coach, and I think I'm going to take single Black Coach with the new battle formation.
Mhm.
That means if we're staying in combat, you get minus to your save. Okay, so opening hellos, we did it. Should we get to the nitty gritty, the science of this?
Yeah, we gotta get into the science. I know Khorne is actually surprisingly not anti-science. He's actually a big science guy. So
Yeah. Now, just so folks at home know, we do a little bit of ranking of all the Age of Sigmar models, and this is a scientific ranking. I promise we're going to get to talking about Blades of Khorne in just a few minutes.
yes, this is objective.
This is objective.
Objective.
Let's look at the objective list so far. It's gotten up to 26 models.
I know. We have the top 26 best models of all time.
Okay. Rounding up the top three, the top four are occupied only by two factions at this point: Cruel Voice and Flesh Eater Courts. Iridan the Snitch is number 5, and then you can see kind of the rest of the top 10 here. I think there's some things in the top 10 that are ready to get knocked out pretty soon here. I don't see.
But we'll have to see.
We'll have to see what science says.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Let's start off and look at the 3 Blades of Khorne units we're going to review today and have scientifically ranked. We're starting off with the Bloodthirster. Bonus points to anyone that can tell me what Bloodthirster this is. No, I mean, like, literally, I don't know. I never know. I just ask my opponent to generally say things like, is this the one with just 5 scary attacks? Or
is this the Insensate Rage, or Very, Very Angry Boy, or...
Is this the one that does the
whatever.
models all over the place?
Unfettered Fury.
Yeah, and there's like a third one that you don't see as often. I don't know why. He must not be good. He must not be angry enough. Okay.
He's actually pretty chill.
All right, so here's Unfettered Fury.
I like it. I like whips. I like axe. I like that he brought both. I think generally Khorne is like not aesthetically my army. It doesn't really appeal to me, but Bloodthirsters are kind of special.
Okay.
I feel like they're like, oh look, it's a Balrog.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
All right. I have a thought on something similar that we'll say. So here is listen, we probably would not have included this guy to rank, maybe ever, if it wasn't for the fact that he is actually one of the units that got an update today. This is the mighty, what's he called? Mighty
Lord of Khorne.
Mighty Lord of Khorne. This guy is special, I know, for Sigmar players, because I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, folks who started way back in first edition, myself is not among them. I think he came in the opening box, the very first Stormcast versus Khorne box. I'm pretty sure he was in it.
Was he not a named character?
Yeah.
Like, I think he was a named character, now he's not anymore.
That's interesting.
But the character still exists, and I don't know, it's a weird situation. The point is, you can't find him on the GW site, you have to buy him in the Spearhead box.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you can't buy him on his own.
He is, Chris says he was a named character at one point.
Is it Cargos or something?
So he is he is a mortal with a skull helmet, a double-bladed axe, and he has a pet fleshhound, which is
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
It's cool. So yeah, we'll get into it when we get to it. Kargarath, thank you.
Kargarath, okay. Last but not least is a Blood Crusher. Now, Saray, you said that Khorne is not really your aesthetic.
Huh.
I have to admit that when it comes to chaos in 40k land, World Eaters are probably one of the last Space Marine factions, loyalist or chaos, that I would be interested in.
Right.
But in Sigmar, I like them a little bit better, and in particular, I do like Khorne demons quite a bit. And I would say that the bloodletter of the 4 basic demons, for one for each god, is probably my favorite. I love this just like no apologies aesthetic of Khorne. When it's like, hey, these look like devils. This is like,
oh hey, yeah. Have you read the Bible? You've seen this guy before.
Have you read the Bible? You've seen this guy.
You've seen this guy before. You know him.
He shows up every now and then. I love Khorne. I think, I always joke about like, oh, I don't really want to. I'm not going to be painting any new AOS armies for a while, and there's not a lot of other armies in AOS that have play styles that appeal to me that I'm not already playing. But Khorne is actually sort of up there. It's probably like
really surprised me.
Like a deeper tier. Yeah. Well, I find them kind of a tricksy army. I find what's the one blood tithe to move 3 inches? What is that called? I know.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, why do we not know? Anyway, I love that ability. I find it to be kind of an interesting army. Playstyle wise. Now, I've always loved the aesthetic of these guys. We're gonna start here. This is a blood murder loss. Thank you, Tad. Yeah, this is a bloodletter riding this thing.
Not a skull crusher. We're bad with core names. It's just like everything in Warhammer. It's just the same 3 mixes of words. Scientifically, it's very scientific. That is a mechanical steed.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like a dog. That kind of looks like a rhino. Dogs aren't very scientific, but rhinos are pretty scientific.
Dogs are not that scientific, yeah.
Dogs are not scientific.
But rhinos are, you're right.
Rhinos are very scientific if you think about it. I don't know. I feel like if in most situations this would be a weird thing where it's like clashing, where you have this like very organic demon, flesh demon, and then this weird mechanical thing.
Yeah.
I think weirdly works for Khorne. Let's see, where do we want to put this guy?
Yeah.
I think it's above a Loon Smasher. Still don't know if it's cooler than a Chain Rasp, personally.
Really? What about a Free Guild Cavalier?
Definitely not cooler than a Free Guild Cavalier.
Okay. Can I say that I strongly, as a Nighthaunt player, feel that this is cooler than a Chain Rasp?
Sure.
I'm gonna say that I know that it's science, and science maybe will correct me if I'm wrong, but the big problem about the Chain Rasp is we haven't even looked at the other Nighthaunt infantry units, because there are some really cool Nighthaunt infantry units. The Chain Rasp is not among them, but for sure he is not quite as cool as a Free Guild Cavalier. It's an older model, to be fair.
It is. I think if they hit these with an update, they would be quite cool. But
yeah,
I feel like Immortals are cooler than the Demons. They have a mortal version writing this.
They do, yeah. Yeah, the Mortals in Sigmar are pretty cool. Like I said, I definitely think I do prefer the Mortals in Sigmar to World Eaters in 40k. Yep. But I would say that, in general, the demons in Khorne are just super cool. Yeah, just a classic demon look. Okay, moving on. We've got the Bloodthirster.
Bloodthirster.
Yeah.
This is going to be high.
Okay.
This is going to be high. What's up, Polly? Bring me up. Bring us up. Bring us up towards the top.
We're going up. We're going into the top 12 here.
It's number 3.
Number 3. It's
number 3. It's cooler than a killer boss on Nashtooth.
Okay.
But it's not cool. I still don't think it's cooler than Scumdrek.
Okay.
And here, before anyone says, "Yeah, Polly, you're gonna have to leave here." They're both really cool. Bloodthirst and Scumdrek are great.
Mm-hmm.
But Scumdrek is more unique. Bloodthirster is cool, but at the end of the day, it feels kind of generic to me still. It's very cool, but kind of generic.
Yeah. He is sort of just like this classic thing that's just like, again, that's like Khorne is classics are classic for a reason, right? And it's just like, he's red, he's got brass, he's got skulls, he's got weapons, he's got fire. I don't know. Yeah.
I would like to see a version of a Bloodthirster that doesn't have wings but has an extra set of arms.
Oh,
to carry more weapons with.
Like the demon. There's the demon prince that has like the trophy rack, right?
Mm-hmm.
No wings, trophy rack. Okay, last but not least is this guy.
Yeah, Ted, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah. And I said last but not least, but honestly might be least. How are you feeling right out of the gate about this guy?
It feels too early AOS.
Yeah.
It feels kind of squat. The dog feels like it shouldn't be there. It's cool, but probably be cool without it. So something I really don't like about AOS Khorne specifically is like, and you see this with other Chaos stuff too, is the shape of the weapons. It's like just too much going on. It feels like someone got into early Blender or something, and was just like, let's just throw all the stuff on.
There's this weird thing that happens with the first like wave of Stormcast and some of these guys, where I actually feel like some late fantasy models look newer than early AOS models. Like they actually like went back in style. It's almost like they start designing these before they like. Okay, think about super late AOS models, like some of these things. Joseph, I'm gonna go ahead and kick you out, buddy, and ban you. You're just annoying to me, so we're just gonna do that real quick. I don't know why people think like, let me do this. We're gonna remove you. First, I'm gonna report you, and then you're just annoying. There you go, report annoying. Okay, I think you've been kicked out. All right, thanks, Joseph. See you, buddy. All right, real quick, back to this. Like, I don't know. Think about like some really late AOS like or fantasy stuff, right? So think like a Ragnarok Spider, who's on our list. Think like I don't know what else, like Stonehorn.
Right.
What else came out super late in fantasy? I mean, some Nighthaunt models even started to.
I think the big demon. I think oh my gosh, I might be wrong, but I think the Great and Clean one is very late. Although I guess it probably has some overlap with 40k. I'm not actually sure when the Great and Clean one came out.
Yeah. So think about those for a second, and it's sort of like compare some of those to this thing. This guy looks. I mean, this guy looks almost like late 90s, right? Like,
yeah,
he's a little too much detail for late 90s, but kind of like I feel like his general vibe, his pose. I agree.
It's just too much. It's too much going on. It's too much going on in a squat.
The squatness, I think, is what's making me think late 90s. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Let's go down. I think he's 25.
Okay.
Weirdly, he feels like Mortrick Guard to me, and that's like, this thing is too squat and too detailed.
Okay. You like him more than Mortrick Guard?
Yes.
Okay. What is he called? Mighty Lord of Khorne. This is also Khorne.
Mighty Lord of the Rings.
Khorne things are basically named after, like they allowed mostly like an 8-year-old boy to name all the units.
I think it's H-O. You put Crone.
Oh.
This is not. You got witch elves on the mind.
Okay, sorry. So this is right. They mostly let like I feel like 8-year-old.
Oh, I was way off.
What do you?
I was way off. Great and Clean.
Oh,
I was way off.
But this guy really feels like I don't know. This guy feels like I'm trying to think how to say this. They let like a 6-year-old boy name him.
I mean, it's kind of all of Warhammer.
Yeah, but Mighty Lord of Khorne? Come on.
All right. Well, we did the science.
We did the science.
Let's do that.
Okay, let's jump in and chat about what we're really here for. Blades of Khorne. Let me grab this here. Okay, I thought that this was right out of the gate. What was your take on this, Saray, right out of the gate?
My take was it feels fine.
Okay.
I mean, Blades of Khorne are kind of in a fine place. I think generally feel like maybe a little at odds at what you think Khorne should do, right?
Right.
They're kind of they're more like you said, they're kind of tricksy as an army, whereas you think they would just be run forward and smash. That being said, their win rate is fine. People seem to play them fine.
Yeah.
So when we went into this, I don't really know what I was expecting.
Right. Same.
But we'll get into it. It feels like you have a lot of lateral moves.
Yes, exactly. I think lateral moves is a great term for it. I kind of think of these guys up there with Flesh Eater Courts, and frankly, the other one I've been seeing is Iron Jaws. As far as armies that have tools that are just like they've got all the tools you need. You're not looking at the army and going, "Oh man, I'll cite Daughters," right? You're like, "Oh, I really need to stay alive here, and I don't have great tools for that, other than Marathi, who has their own unique thing going on." So that's an elf army thing. Or you're looking at Nurgle and you're going, I really don't have ways to get across the board. I think Khorne, Flesh Eater Courts, even Iron Jaws to some extent, depending on what you take, just have all the tools. And I think we're seeing that they do well because good players can make good lists out of these factions. Cities are kind of in there too. So yeah, I likewise, this hit me about the same as the Flesh Eater Courts one did. I was like, okay, cool. Like Brad's gonna be happy. He's gonna try some new stuff out. I don't think he's seen this now for a little while, and I think his reaction was okay. Looks fun, right?
Yeah. There's a couple of things here that are interesting, but I don't think it's gonna revolutionize anything.
Correct.
With the army.
I think the Blood Crusher bump up might be maybe the best part. Let's we're gonna come back and talk about General's Handbook fact number 4.
Some very vague and GHB stuff.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Khorne. Okay.
All right.
So we'll get to these in a second. 2 new battle formations. Everybody's getting battle formations. We've still only seen one faction, Stormcast Eternals. Not yet. I know.
Stormcast left in the lurch.
I know, Saray, it's going to be Slaves of Darkness are not going to get that. The one thing
I know. I'm going to hate it if they don't do that.
Okay. So Tournament of Skulls. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I'll read these. You've been give your voice a rest. All right, so we have 2 battle formations. We've got Tournament of Skulls. This is a once per turn army your hero phase. You pick a friendly non-hero Bloodbound and a non-hero Blades of Khorne demon. So that's a demon and a mortal, non-hero. And to the start of your next turn, while the targets are wholly within 12 inches of each other, you add 1 to the wound rolls for the combat attacks. This is what I mean by it feels like a kind of sideways move. I mean, +1 to wound is good.
Yeah.
But, the stipulation of a mortal and a non-mortal, or a mortal and a demon, and then they have to be within 12 inches of each other is kind of annoying. Playing Iron Jaws Regiment of Renown, Army of Renown, I can tell you it's very annoying to have to move blocks of infantry and keep them within 12 inches of each other.
Yeah.
And this is for offensive stuff. When I play Iron Jaws, that's just to keep defensive buffs up. So this is even more difficult.
Yeah. And I think when you say lateral move, you bring up a good point because I forget the one it's called, but there already is a Khorne one where a demon unit fights and then a mortal unit fights, and again they have to be Khornite Legion, and they have to be near each other, and so now you're kind of asking yourself, which one of those perks do I want? Do I want +1 to win?
Khornite Legion, I don't think you have to be next to each other.
Oh, you do not?
Yeah, and that's why I think this is like it's not. I'll double check, but I don't think this is as good. It's fine.
No, you do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. So it feels fine.
Yeah.
Gore Tide, the other formation. This is once per turn army. Your movement phase. You pick a Bloodbound hero and up to 2 other friendly Bloodbound units that are wholly within 12 of that hero to be the targets. You add 2 to the move characteristics for the rest of the turn.
This is Field Sergeant.
Yeah, it's Field Sergeant. It's although it's with two other friendly as opposed to just an aura, but it's probably functionally the same.
Yeah. I was kind of hearing from folks at the design studio that halfway through the change in the War Scroll update where that gave us Field Sergeant, that along with you can kind of probably think and say what factions were people thinking of when they thought of Field Sergeant, and the answers were Fire Slayers, Daughters of Cain, and then Khorne. So it's kind of nice to see that they got they recognize that this is a melee army that actually doesn't move that fast with its infantry. A general problem. In general, infantry melee armies in 4th Ed have been a bit of a problem getting where they want to be.
Yeah.
So, I think
these are fine. Yes. This is Phoenix Success talking about. It still feels like a downgrade because chain fighting is better. Yeah. Generally, I agree.
Chain fighting is always going to be better, and I think the only thing that might have made Tournament Skulls a little bit better is if they had not made it, instead of being non-hero, I think maybe like non-monster, or like don't let it be a Bloodthirster. Maybe that's fine, but like you were saying, keeping blocks of infantry near each other is a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
but keeping a Slaughter Priest near 20 Bloodletters much easier.
Yeah.
You
All right, let's
really...
look at the prayer lore.
Yeah,
I think this is the one thing I liked.
Yes, this
I see.
These are.
I'm curious what people who play Khorne think of this. I think this is a good lore. Gifts of the Blood God. So first one we got is Gore Flesh. Goes off on a 3. These all go off on a 3, which is good.
Which is
low
deal.
casting value or prayer values.
Big deal.
Gore Flesh. So just pick a friendly Blades of Khorne priest to chant this prayer. Pick a visible Blades of Khorne unit within 12, and then make your roll. So until the start of your next turn, ignore the first damage point allocated to the target in each phase. If you get an 8, you can pick a second target. This is kind of weirdly kind of whatever on this army. I feel like this is better on things like KO or big things with big monsters like oh my gosh, the ogres on the ice ogres.
Yeah,
Stonehorns, yeah. Because this is fine. I don't think it's anything to write home about. It is unlimited, so
we saw this. We saw this yesterday with Bone Reapers, right? They got a spell that does this. Yeah, it's a fine effect. I mean, you're not gonna complain about it.
No.
Yeah.
I think you would probably use these other ones first, though. We got Runes of Loathing. So this is a pick a friendly Blades of Khorne, yada yada, wholly within 12, whatever. Until the start of your next turn, the target has Ward 3 against damage inflicted by spell abilities, prayer abilities, and abilities used by manifestations, including fight abilities. Mm-hmm. If the chanting roll was an 8, you can pick another eligible unit. Situationally, very good, right? If you're going up against a Croak Mortal Wound Bomb, this is going to be great.
Yep.
If you're getting, attacked by a manifestation, what's it called? Incarnate of Ghur.
Yeah.
This is great. 3-up ward. Obviously, it's very situational, though. It
is situational, but on the plus side, it's situational, and you're either going to use it or you're not. It's not like, well, I'll cast it, and maybe that situation will then happen, and I'll be in a good spot. This is like you said, oh, he's got a Kronspine in the middle of the board. I'm going to have to deal with it. Or, oh, he's Croak. Or, oh, he's Zinch, or whatever, right? And
or he's got not Gore-Tide. The spells that do more for every unit, every model in the unit, on a 5-up you take Immortal. Stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean it's pretty good. It 3-up ward is bonkers. So it is situationally perfect, and you will always know the situation. You'll be able to spot it in advance. Yeah.
And then the last one for the prayer lore is Gift of Apoplexy. So this is within 18. Mm-hmm. So pick a visible enemy unit with an 18. Until the start of your next turn, each time the target uses an ability that is not a move, charge, or fight ability, after that ability is resolved, inflict D3 mortal damage on the target. If the chanting roll was an 8+, inflict 3 mortal damage instead of D3. So good.
Yeah. The 8+ is particularly scary. The only thing to maybe remember about this is, once again, sort of situational, although the 18-inch range helps with that. This comes to mind as being quite good. These two last ones, these two pairs right here, this is like a 1-2 lights out for Croak in particular, right? Because what I was trying to think of, Saray, maybe you can help me out. What abilities are getting used a lot by the same? What unit other than spells, or what ability other than spells, is one unit using kind of a lot?
Rampages.
Rampage.
Period.
If you were a shooting monster, if you did some shooting, and your shooting was good, maybe like Blob, or you're up close. Like, doesn't Blob or Orgrouts have a pretty good shooting attack?
They're decent.
Yeah, let's say you moved, you're fine. Okay, let's say you're Blob. You cast a spell, ouch.
Yeah.
You shoot, ouch. You do your monstrous rampage, ouch.
Yeah.
Some of these you're just not going to do, which is also good.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not insane, but I think it's again situationally good.
I'm disinterested in doing these things if the Khorne player rolls an 8 and tells me every time you cast, Eidolon, my Eidolon of the Sea is a 2-cast wizard, and has one of the interesting shooting attacks in my army. I'm just not going to do anything with him that turn. He's going to move, and that's it. Like, if it's flat 3, I'm not dealing with that. So, yeah, kind of good. Heroes. It's going to be good against heroes. Wizard and priest heroes. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, it's a good prayer lore.
I'm curious what people think of that.
I'm kind of... Yeah, Saray, the thing that you pointed out to me that's most interesting about this prayer lore is that they all go off on 3s. This is quite low. We haven't seen this, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good. It makes sense, right? They don't have access to the spells, so you kind of got to make up for it.
Yeah.
All right. We've got the 2 variant War Scrolls.
Yeah.
We'll start with the Mighty Lord of Khorne.
Right. I'm going to pull him up because I do not know him at all.
I think he used to have 5 attacks.
Okay.
I think he lost an attack. But maybe we went to 3 damage as opposed to 2 damage?
That's correct, on both accounts.
Okay. Cool. So this is Mighty Lord. So he lost an attack and went to 3 damage. I don't know what the deal with his flesh is, though.
Yeah, it lost an attack, but gained anti-wizard rend on the dog.
Oh, good.
Yeah, just what I always wanted. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Once per battle, any combat phase, you have to spend a CP for this.
Sorry. It gained it. He gained an attack. The dog gained an attack. Okay.
Gained an attack, but lost anti-wizard.
Yeah. No, it gained an attack and lost anti-wizard. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Other way around. Yeah. All right.
So Howl of Blood-Curdling Savagery. So this is for 1 CP. If this unit is in combat with a visible, friendly, blood-bound unit, that is the mortals, unit with holy within 12 of this unit and not in combat to the target, then make a charge roll of 2d6. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The target can move a distance up to the value of the charge roll. The unit can move through combat ranges of enemy units and must end the move within ½ inch of the visible enemy unit. If it does so, the target is charged. So, a half-priced countercharge.
It is a half-priced countercharge. That's exactly what.
But in the combat phase, which is also interesting.
Now you need to. It's not a reaction, so you need to do this at the start of the combat phase. You can't kind of wait to see pylons and then decide you want to do this.
Well, you can also do it in your enemy's combat phase.
That's what's interesting. Exactly right. Yeah. And like you said, I kind of see it as a half-priced.
Yeah, half-price countercharge.
Once per game, half-price countercharge.
I think that's great. I think that's something the army wants. Yeah. Perfect to get set up, and having a unit come in and wreck something is great. Although you have to have him in combat, which is he's not the toughest guy around.
No,
Um,
he's not. That said, there is a lot of demon, things wanting to be in combat in this army.
yeah.
So, and he will get to
The
use this ability before he dies. On the plus side.
Yes, at the very least, unless he
Yeah.
gets killed on mortal charges or something.
Yeah, unless a Stonehorn just runs him over.
Yeah. All right, then you have once per turn, end of any turn, reality splitting axe. This unit can use this ability even if it has been destroyed. Oh, so there we go. Pick an enemy hero that was allocated in damage points by this unit's axe of Khorne this turn to be the target. Roll a dice. On a 5 of the target is automatically destroyed. It cannot be replaced for the rest of the battle.
What?
That's very good.
This guy's interesting. He costs too many points to toss in at the end. I think he's 120, which is actually 180. No, that's significantly more. This guy's way too many points for what he does, because these are cute abilities, but they're just that. They're cute. They're cute. They're fun. They're a little scary to your opponent.
Buy Abraxia.
I know.
Buy Be'lakor. Buy
Eternus. I mean, like.
Hey, buy. Wait, how does this work with what's her name?
Alario?
Marathi. No, Marathi.
Oh, Marathi has a rule that says if she would be automatically destroyed, she takes 3
But she's
mortals.
not. Okay.
Same,
I know that some models have that. So
yeah, Sons of Behemoth have that as well.
I think Archeon has that.
Yeah. So, what do you think of this ability? I
mean, it's annoying. It's annoying because once it's end of any turn.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't kill him, he could potentially do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not amazing, but it's scary enough that it makes me. I mean, the fact that it happens regardless if he's alive or not is like super scary, right?
So
I'm not putting heroes into him. It doesn't matter if it's like I'm gonna kill him and it's only in a 5-up. It's not worth it.
Here's what makes this exactly. Here's what makes this guy interesting, Stray. It's like you're saying. So between this and the fact that when he does get in combat, he can do a 1 CP countercharge once per battle. This guy, you are not incentivized to keep this guy alive long as a Khorne player. You are incentivized as a Khorne player to actually throw this guy into combat in your very first wave. Maybe put some axe attacks into a Frost Lord or into a Slann or into I don't know, like not Marathi, but Alariel, whatever, right? Tree Lord, whatever you want. He's not going to kill it, really, but if you can get this guy in turn, although he, 3 damage, you get this guy in on turn 1, you use his ability, you pop the counter charge, you don't really care if he dies, and then you're just rolling.
Up.
Yeah. So it's okay. Yeah, because you have to pick one enemy hero that has been damaged. So, and I don't see this guy making any rounds and hitting 2 or 3 enemy heroes with his axe. He's gonna hit 1 enemy hero with his axe. He's gonna die, and then you're rolling a 5-up for the end of any turn. You're gonna get it. If you do this early, you do this by turn 2, you're gonna kill something.
Yeah, it's also once per turn, so splitting your attacks wouldn't matter.
No, yeah, exactly. Sorry, that's what I'm saying. I don't see him putting this curse on more than 1 unit.
Yeah. Scary though.
It's scary, but would you pay 180 for it?
No.
He doesn't.
As someone, it's weird because as someone playing against it, it would make me not go into him.
Yeah.
So maybe it is worth it.
You'd want to shoot. You'd want to shoot him, or you'd want to make. Yeah.
Or send not. Obviously, you just send not heroes into him. That's what you actually do.
Right. Like if he's there hanging on some bloodletters, and I'm charging 20 witch elves and going into him in the bloodletters anyway, he's been used incorrectly, and they're all just dead, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't matter. So like it's sort of he requires some finesse. He's 180, and then it's a 5-up.
Easy to play around, but annoying. Just scary enough.
Oh, you just did the damage to who's like a great unclean one, okay? How long can you now wait and then this guy dies? How long can you wait rolling trying to get a 5-up before the great unclean one dies? At what point are you just going to say, you know what? Like what player is going to go, I'm not going to go into the great unclean one anymore. because I'll get a 5-up. Like,
Yeah.
no, the Great Unclean One will wreak havoc. You have to still deal with it. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't really see this as an amazing ability, but it is super fun, for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun uh, rule, which is we're all in favor of, even if they're not amazing.
Molecule, thank you for the support. We do take super chats and gifted memberships, by the way. We actually have like a little gifted membership goal thingy. There it is. 17 out of 50. Before this show ends, Molecule says everything's 20 witch elves with this guy. You know why I use 20 witch elves? I know what they can do. And also I use them because they're a kind of a stat check litmus test for the most damage output. So like I use them because I know that I know I do this all the time, Molecule also, but I know that 20 witch elves could kill this guy and 20 bloodletters, right? If they were souped up, for sure. But right. Good call out.
All right, we got the Blood Crush. Yeah, learn a new war scroll. We've got the Scourge of Ghyran variant of the Blood Crushers. I believe they gained charge damage on the Blood Crusher Hellblade. Can you check that for me?
I think so too, because I think this is a famous Khorne thing where nothing has extra damage on the charge.
Yes, and it doesn't make any sense. Why do they not have charge +1 damage? Well, now they do, assuming they didn't before. So now we have Brass Stampede.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't before.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be a variant war scroll. They should just update the war scroll.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brass Stampede is once per turn, any charge phase. Declare this unit. If this unit charges this turn, pick an enemy unit in combat with it to be the target. Roll a dice, and on a 3-up, the unit can move 2d6. It can pass through models in that target unit and must end the move in combat. I think before they just did D3 mortals on the charge.
Correct.
On a 2-up, right?
Correct.
It wasn't even just flat D3, which is annoying.
Yep.
Yeah. So, being able to move 2d6, quite good.
They've gone up 20 points. They used to have, as Dan points out, they used to have anti-infantry rend. They don't have that anymore. They still have crit mortals. And they also picked up anti-cav on the brass hooves of the Juggernaut itself, which they previously did not have.
Interesting. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, so it's a straight upgrade, mostly because of this ability and because of the damage plus on the charge.
Yeah.
And they're paying 20 extra points for it. I think this is good.
What was their movement before? I thought their movement was 8.
Their movement was 8.
All right, so they've also gained 2 inches of move. So this is just a much better.
Oh,
unit.
That's a subtle sneak by there, and yeah, good catch, because kind of a big deal. Again, like I said, this is an army that actually has, even their cav aren't that fast. So like this army actually a aggressive melee army. They have Murder Lust to help them, but you can only Murder Lust so much. And so this is a slow moving army. So all of this helps. Yeah. This is great.
I think this is a strict upgrade. I want to know what people who play Khorne think of this. I know that this unit sucked. So, I remember playing them in, thinking about taking them in the Be'lakor Army of Renown and thinking, like, this seems broken in a not good way. It seems like this unit, they missed something.
Yeah, I think that, yes, exactly, right. And it felt like probably the big thing was the damage on the charge. The mortals people take because the mortals are just a tar pit. But these guys are also going to be a little bit less of a tar pit than the mortals because their save's not as good, but they not nearly as good, but they can do a little more damage.
What is the role of this unit? It has 5 health, so it's like a tar pit, sort of.
Well, you got 3 of them with a similar stat line. Only the move changed for 160. Move up and the initial engagement, I guess, honestly, because I don't.
Yeah, because they're not hitting it super hard. I guess they can screw up. You can put them in people's lines and just tie up a bunch of stuff, especially that 2d6 charge or 2d6 movement after you've charged. That can screw things up for people.
They're good now. I think now they're interesting. I mean, I think now you could build an army around them if you want. You could Yeah, I think you could take 12, 18 of these guys, and
Really?
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm still a little confused. It's not what I want them to do, I guess. I want hard hitting cavalry for this army,
Hmm.
but I guess this is a weird tricksy. It's also, oh yeah, it's also on a 3-up.
Yeah, it
It's
doesn't
not
just
even,
happen. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, I definitely
Yeah,
think
I know, they're weird.
I definitely think they have the output. If you wanted to do like a Cav Khorne army, you could build an army around these guys. They'll have the output. They have the health. The save's not bad. And I think these up here are the infantry only. No, this is bloodbound. Yeah. So either the two demon things also could work. Either the chain activation of the wounds. I don't know. I kind of like them, but I think that for sure they've gone better at the very least.
I think they've gotten better. I still don't know if they're worth it though.
Yeah,
Personally,
180. Yeah, I don't know.
180. It's just not. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like it needs more. More. Give them more.
Yeah, I like 6 models, Vino, like right in the early game to kind of go make some initial contact, do some damage.
You know what they remind me of? They remind me of Gore Gruntas for Iron Jaws.
A little
It's like
bit.
it
Yeah.
does it. It doesn't do nearly enough as much damage as you think it should for an army that's famous for like smashing and hitting stuff. But it can
Yeah.
kind of just tie stuff up for
I think
your opponent.
the big kind of weird thing about them, in my opinion, is not weird, but like 2 attacks is kind of light on the for the
It's
blood
extremely light.
for the
Yeah,
Hellblade themselves. Yeah. So because you're fishing for crit mortals, so these are gonna be two mortal damage on the charge,
yeah. It's just not enough.
but only 2 attacks. So
Yeah.
even with 6, on average, you're doing 4 mortals right there. It's not bad. It's not a bad way to kick things off, but it's not like you're not going into Archeon and hoping to do well with these guys for sure.
No, that's when you send in what's his face, the Mighty Lord of Khorne,
Mighty Lord of Khorne, yeah, send him in to deal with Archeon.
and then do 6 mortals because
Yeah,
Archeon can't just die.
yeah. Well, so here's kind of what I like about this one. Okay, between these guys and the mortal Cav, I
Yeah,
think that some of these start to become interesting, right? So, like, initially, I think when we think of the chain fighting or when we think of Tournament of Skulls, we think infantry, blocks of infantry.
yeah.
But think of it instead, what about blocks of cavalry, right? Like, so these guys, Tournament of Skulls works. I want to make sure that chain activation isn't
Limited to infantry.
limited to infantry. And it's not. It's just bloodbound and demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of like it in that regard, like sending in, what are the human ones called?
Not blood crushers.
They're
I know
called
what you're talking about. The mortal variant of
mighty,
this.
mighty, mighty. There's mighty
Mighty.
skull crushers. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of like them tag teaming together and doing their +1 to wound or their Canite Legion thing. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. I think cavalry Khorne army is viable now.
Okay.
Yeah. If people have wanted that, if that's been something people
Yeah,
have
I don't know if
wanted.
that's what people want anyway.
Yeah. Okay, we did it. We talked about Blades of Khorne. Overall impressions, Saray?
Like I said, lateral moves.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy upgrade. I think the prayer lore is interesting, but nothing here I is like blowing me away.
Same.
You know, there's not like, oh my god, look at the black coach now.
Well,
Kind of reaction.
the prayers are quite good.
The prayers are good, but
Yeah.
eh, again, very situated. I don't care about your 3-up board against magic. I don't have magic, you know.
But yeah. Situationally amazing. I think of the 2 new battle formations, I do kind of think Tide of Savagery might be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that it's only bloodbound, though, is the issue. Although, kind of interestingly, you can now get Mighty Scrawl Crushers to move as fast as the new blood
I
crushers.
know
So they can now keep up with each other, which is sort of what I'm saying. But then
Yay.
you lose the demon bloodbound synergy from Tournament
Yeah.
Skulls. So, okay. We also got a new thing with some terrain here. We've been getting these general handbook facts intermittently. So here we say we learn a little about obscuring terrain. Units are now much harder to target. Every model in the unit is within, not wholly
You
within.
want to bring it up?
Oh,
bring it
yes.
up?
Sorry. Yeah. Within 1 inch of obscuring terrain, not wholly within, which is a big deal because otherwise everybody would have to be either.
It's every model.
Yeah, every model. Exactly. But it is within, which is nice. This may seem like a massive boon for shooting, but which can hide among the trees, but all those dangling plants can really foul up ranged attacks. They don't say how that is.
I really wish they would explain what that meant.
They left it there for now. Okay, so
It's going to curb your shooting attacks. How?
yeah.
I don't know.
Places of power have metamorphosized into something Ghyranik with new effects that range from healing, or sometimes deadly, pollen to magical boons and rapidly growing vegetation. So these are really narrative,
Yeah.
cute narrative things.
Yeah, I like that. I like that they're justifying it through lore.
Right. They say that tomorrow's Scourge of Ghyran content will be far more down to earth, or will it? What faction? What faction is that?
Down to earth. So Sky.
So that could be KO.
Yeah. So, but you thought, but you think wrong.
Yeah.
It's actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're revealing They're revealing Chaos Dwarfs tomorrow. Who live under the ground.
They're just dropping dropping 2 new battle formations, some artifacts, and some variant war scrolls for Chaos Dwarfs tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we did have a poll. I think we did all of our things today.
Yeah.
Khorne, nice, quick and to the point, just like Khorne likes it. What makes the grass grow? Blood. Water and sunlight. I'm not confident enough to
answer.
Answer. Yeah, okay. Blood won. Makes sense. We had Khorne people in here today, I suppose.
I'm sorry to let you know that blood is not
blood.
Not the
It is actually water and sunlight. Yeah.
It's water and sunlight.
Yeah, you guys should have known that. Well, that's why we're the scientists, not them.
Yeah. See? This is why you can't trust people.
You cannot trust people. So
you should trust us, the scientists.
This was great. Now, again, I don't know exactly what he's planning on taking, but I'm pretty sure Brad is going to bring Khorne on Thursday's game. So be here for that Thursday night Pacific time. If you're new to the channel, 5 p.m. Pacific time. That might be a little late in your time zone. You can catch us the next day when it goes to video. And then we have a game Saturday as well. I don't remember who that is. Are you on that game Saturday? No, that's actually Graham and Brett.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be Cities and Gloomspite gets.
Sweet.
Yeah. Which is great. We haven't seen the new Cities stuff. And there may or may not be 3 cannons. So
may or may not be.
May or may not be 3 cannons.
That's Vindication game.
Yeah, I think we did it, Saray. Do you have anything else?
No, I think we did it.
I think we did it. Okay. That's awesome. Folks at home, thank you so much for being here as always. This has been a lot of fun doing these every morning, never getting a day off. Saray and I love it. No complaints.
I'm not exhausted.
Yeah, not exhausted at all. As we like to say, be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, always be creating. See you tomorrow.